Why do real estate agents go broke?
Well, we're going to be discussing that today. My name is Alan Rich. I'm the managing broker here at Maximum Realtor Partners.
My name is Ming Richardson. I'm the compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
So why do agents go broke?
Well, I personally believe because they stop learning or don't learn fast enough to compete with the market.
Well, and what we're seeing is that's very, very true inside our real estate industry. And we're going to explain to you why that is and like what's the premise behind that. But we want to back up a little bit and talk just for a moment about the premise that you need 10,000 hours to master something. And so there was a psychologist. His name's Anders Ericsson, and he did this study of violinists, and he found that the top violinists in the world,
On the average.
on average, accumulated 10,000 hours of practice by the time that they were age 20. And so basically what you see is that you need about 2,500 hours to be intermediate, right?
And about 50,000 hours to
5,000.
5,000 hours to be advanced.
Yep. 10,000 hours to be an expert.
And 20,000 hours to be master.
So now, the whole premise was based originally on violins, but we've seen that applies definitely to business, right? And so we have this compound effect that once the more you do something, the better that you get at it. And the same thing carries on throughout your entire life, right? Every time that you do more of a task and that you do more of a skill, you keep putting that into your little account, right? And so the same premise here applies with real estate. And so, like if you say, okay, what does 10,000 hours in life look like, or in the real estate business really look like? Because if you worked 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and you worked
40 to 50 weeks a year,
right? Then in order to hit 10,000 hours of mastery in real estate, you would need
about 5 to 7 years.
5 to 7 years, right? And so the reason why this is coming to mind for us is that there is a recent study, or not recent study, but basically, and about every year, National Association of Realtors releases the data about realtors, about who we are, how much we make, our ages, those kind of things, how long we've been in the business. And so we were looking at this report, and when we went through the report, what we've seen is, it's kind of broken down into realtors who are 2 years or less, and then realtors who are 3 to 5 years, and then realtors who are 6 to 15, and realtors who have been in the business 16 years or more. And what you really find is that for most realtors, their most productive years, the years when they are just slamming and banging, when they're actually doing it, is when they hit the 6 to 15 years. And so we're like, well, gosh, that those things really do work together. If you look at it, takes 5 to 7 years
to master your field.
And in the real estate industry, our most productive years are between 6 and 15 years in the business. That really does kind of carry forward, right? So we're seeing that realtors who are in the 6 to 15 year segment, they're the ones who are the most active in real estate. They're the ones that this is their full-time profession. On average, they do the largest number of transactions. They also do the highest volume of transactions. They tend to work pretty much about the same hours, hours worked if you're a brand new realtor versus hours worked if you have been in 6 to 15 years, same hours, 35 hours a week kind of stuff. And what we do find is that a higher percentage of their clients comes from referrals and repeat business kind of thing. That number is higher for those agents that have been in the business over 16 years, of course, but still we see where that kind of carries forward again and again. The other thing we find is that that's also the group that has the highest personal income.
So on the average, they're probably netting out a year about $150,000. So that's because they have a system they put in place, and they have, a way of doing business to where it's sustainable.
Right. And so where this conversation originally came from Ming and I is we were talking about like right now we are about to start our Tom Ferry Summit conference experience
And
thing
it's
that
a fun time.
we do it every single year. And so we were just talking about agent skills, all these kind of things came out. Because when you start looking at agent skills and then you start comparing that with what do our clients rate overall their real estate professional that they've used, it's actually not the greatest report, if I'm very honest with you, right?
Only 36 believe that we're very valuable.
Only 36% say that their real estate agent in their last transaction was very valuable. 41% said that we were
somewhat
valuable, right? And then 13% said somewhat
unvaluable.
And then, unfortunately, 11% said that we were
not productive,
very invaluable, right? And so I'm looking at a lot of these things, and we're seeing again and again where experience, and I don't just mean time in the field, right? And see, that's one thing that we see time and again is that inside our industry, we have some folks that have been in the business for 6 to 15 years, and it's not their most productive years because they haven't been applying themselves for the previous years.
We say applying, meaning that they don't pursue education when it comes to market trend. What's going on with the feeling the market, what's going on with interest rate, what's going on with affordability, what's going on with down payment assistance. So when you don't educate yourself on items like that, you are not helping the client, and therefore you probably would not be come across as someone that's expert in your field.
Well, in addition to not helping your client, you're not helping yourself,
correct,
right? We here at the brokerage, we teach a lot of continuing education. We enjoy teaching. We think it's a very crucial piece of our business. We feel it's one of our responsibilities as brokers. And so we teach a lot. And we see, unfortunately, time and again, where we'll hold a class and I'll have somebody come in who's like, man, I got to have 30 hours by the end of this month. And I'm like, so you haven't had any education for 4 years or because we have to have 36 hours, right? And so here it is, you get 30 hours to take. So you've taken 2 classes in 4 years. And now you're struggling and picking up every class that may not necessarily matter or apply to your business. And what we see is that like even if all you did was take a CE class once a quarter, it covers your education requirements. That doesn't mean that you're a master by any means. But like there is a lot of education opportunities out there. And what we see is that the folks who are always learning, who are really engaged on learning, they're being a lot more successful in our industry. Now, inside our industry, when we first start off, we all kind of, and there's a lot of discussion about, is the 75-hour pre-license course enough to prepare you to go work with clients? And then I know that we have the additional 25-hour post-license class, and we get that. But then a lot of folks come out of the business or enter the business and think, okay, I'm good to go. When really that first year is so much learning that you have to be doing.
And that's what we encourage all agents, honestly, especially if you just received your new license. Please take as much education opportunity. Not only that, and networking with your fellow realtors, because a real estate agent, because I can tell you there's a lot of folks out here in that field that will be more than happy to help you. And if not, they would love to co-op a deal with you down the road because now they know you and there's a relationship, and the transaction typically goes much easier when it comes to representing your client's needs.
Yeah. So we can jump to the front of the line, as it were. We have new agents all the time who end up moving directly into top producer status. Now, these folks have studied the markets. They'll research things. Now, for a lot of us, we went to college. And when you go to college, the whole premise is you're kind of jumping the line, right? You're getting a lot more knowledge. You're getting a lot more of those hours of experience and core learning that you need to get done. A lot of times in real estate, we stop doing that. So choose the CE classes, the continuing education classes that really do make the most sense to you. understand that you are a small business person. And so you have to be learning something every day. So there's a lot of things that we do personally so that we're always learning to stay at the top of our game, because when you're learning, you're always injecting new information into your business, new ideas, new thoughts, new motivations. It's really important that we're doing these kind of things. We have a lot of folks, and they'll utilize systems like Blinkist. Blinkist is one of those. It's kind of like how Cliff Notes used to be back in the day. 15 minutes, and for a 15-minute read, you get a full business book. The premises behind a full business book. Now, for us, like I'm a big Audible guy. We spend a lot of time driving between the offices and appointments and all that kind of stuff. So we do Audible heavily, but most of those are business books or real estate books that are audio books that we're listening to, but we're always injecting that information in. We love Founders Podcast.
So if you're a podcaster, Founders a great one. Honestly, it talks about history greatest entrepreneur, what their thought process were, and how they overcome some of the hardship. And it's a good read. I truly enjoy this one.
Yeah, so Founders is really, really solid. Now, whether you're watching this video right now or in the future, we have the Tom Ferry Summit come up. We do this event every year. I mean, we've done it for what, 9 years maybe, and so we live stream it in all of our offices, and we have a really good time with it. The reason that we do this every year is because it just injects so many ideas, and so like I took and just scribbled down some of the topics that they're talking about this year, and I'm not talking specifically about just the summit or Tom Ferry or this kind of stuff, but like when you look at like dealing with competition, working with mortgages, how does AI work? Real estate tech, buyer systems, listing systems, building your business, using social media content. Let's see, what else we got? Mindset, listing markets, words that win, building your brand on YouTube, how to work a geo farm, how to work high-end listings, running your business in greatness.
And at the end of the summit, he does a 100-day challenge. So what it does, it helps you to get into a habit of doing what's successful in our field. So, while I respect there are folks that look at real estate as a part-time, but if you are in this for full-time, these are things that you need to do to equip you and your business to be better and successful for the longevity.
If you can get ahead to that 10,000 hours, if you are struggling in real estate, look at how much are you learning right now. We find that if you are a student of real estate, whether you're using a Tom Ferry conference or books or these things,
or any other motivation,
all these kind of things, you have to keep learning. It's crucial for your success, not only as a great realtor, but as a business person, right? Because that's the biggie here, is that you will bless us. All of our agents bless us by hanging their license under us, but every one of those folks is a small business, and we realize that. And we find that you need to make sure you realize that too, because when you realize that, that's when you really become the most successful.
Correct. And so when you have a goal plan agenda, not only that, has someone to help you to think outside your box, because obviously sometimes, one person's mindset may not be greater than those around them. So, it's like a manufacturing plant. If you always build a machinery a certain way and you don't look at where loss efficiencies are, then you may be building this product for a lot more expensive than someone that can come across with something that's more efficient. And this is what part of real estate is about, enjoy the life balance and business, right? So you need to see what is available to you today to help you build efficiency. Not only that, a top-rated customer service and overall a easier flow so you can operate like a business instead of always catching up.
So be patient with your results, impatient with your daily actions. That's going to grow your entire business. Have a great week.
Thank you very much for watching us.
Bye now.
We'll see you next week.